Lord God, help us to go through the refining process successfully. That was in my devotion today, and wow, it is so profound to know that God is refining us. He's working on us as we're walking through this process of life. Tests and trials are helping us as we come through successfully to be better people in the long run for his purposes, for his plan in our lives. And he has great plans for us. Jeremiah 29:11. He has great plans for us. And so we need to know that and believe that. But there's a process. There's a refining process. We don't just automatically end up there. He's working on us to become the people of God we need to be in order to be able to handle that greatness that he has for us and that purpose and plan that he has for us to achieve. There are so many instances in the Bible, I'll just capitalize on a few, of people who went through that refining process. Paul in 2 Corinthians 11:16 through 33 talks about all that he went through and all the hardships that he had to endure through his service to the Lord. And all of those hardships made him stronger, made him better, made him build up his faith and his dependence on God through it all. And he went through a lot. He went through a lot. And he went through a lot since his Damascus experience when he was converted, when he was knocked off of that horse and the light came upon him and Jesus came upon him. And he went through that whole time of trial and testing to build him up to be the man of God that God called him to be. There is a refining process. David was 15 years old, they believe, when he was called to be king. However, he didn't become king until he was 30 years old. And David went through a refining process. He went through tests and trials. He went through wilderness experiences. But it was building him up to be the leader that God wanted him to be the king God wanted him to be. Joseph, the same way. Joseph was 13 years in the refining process before he got out of prison and became the leader of Egypt. So he went through this process, and since he was 13 or younger, 15, I believe Joseph was 17 years old when his brothers tried to kill him, and he got sold into slavery and went through all manner of test and trial. But it built him up to be the man of God that God called him to be. And listen, we're going through tests and trials for that same reason. What is God doing in us? He's building character in us. He's building humility in us. He's building dependence on him. And he's building leadership skills to help us to be the leaders, to help us to be able to take on that which we need to when the time comes. When the time comes, and it will come. But we need to walk through that refining process. We don't need to argue about it. We don't need to fuss about it. We don't need to complain when things don't work out the way we think they should. God is preparing us. A lot of times God is saving us from something that might be harmful to us. But know that God knows the plan. He has the plan, and he will carry out that plan. Listen, God is sovereign. If you want to know how sovereign he is, just read Job 38 through 41. And God will tell you how sovereign he is. He knows what he's doing. We are not God. We are his people, his children, his servants. And he's preparing us for greatness. So listen, hunker down in the test and trial and refining process, because God has great things for you. He's building you up to be a great and awesome person inside first, and then you'll walk it out in the natural. God bless you in this, and hold on. It only gets better.